Hi there, and welcome to the Neckpour. My name's Lewis, and welcome to the Whiskey Review channel, where I give you my thoughts and opinions on a particular bottle of whiskey from the Neckpour all the way down to the dregs. You join me here today for the Neckpour of this. It's a 16-year-old Tomatin, travel retail exclusive with Moscatel Cask finish. Something I'm really excited to try. I'm not sure I've ever tried anything from Tomatin, and really looking forward to getting into this one. My wife's actually just returned from a trip and was kind enough to pick this up for me. It's literally been in my house for 15, 16 hours at this point, and I just couldn't wait to get it ripped open and give it a try. But before we get any further into this one, I would just like to say, if you enjoy the video, please do drop me a like. If you've got any thoughts on this particular bottle, Tomatin as a distillery, or there's anything you'd like to see me review, please do drop that in the comments below. I'll be sure to get back to you. And if you're really enjoying the content and want to see some more, please do hit the subscribe button and the notification bell down below so you're informed next time I post. Yeah, as I say, my wife's been away and she very kindly picked this up for me from duty free over in Berlin and brought it back. And yeah, it's a distillery I'm not sure I've ever tried before. I mean, the only things I've ever seen are the Legacy and something else, which are just kind of supermarket 40% chill filtered coloured whiskies, and not necessarily the kind of things that really excite me. And yeah, I've never picked anything up. And yeah, so I'm really excited to try a whole new brand. I mean, reading some of the bump on the front, if it's anything like what they're suggesting, it sounds absolutely delicious. Because we are travel retail exclusive with 46% non-chill filtered natural colour. So it's got all the key stats we're looking for to begin with. And yeah, if it's traditional orange marmalade, sun-dried fruits, dark chocolate with a hint of fresh ginger and a long waxy finish, I'll be very, very pleased, that's for sure. I mean, it's pretty nicely presented. It's actually got a lovely colour on it from the Moscatel casks. For those of you who don't know, it's a Portuguese fortified wine. Made with muscat grapes, or Moscatel grapes in Portugal, and then finished with brandy, so like a port or a sherry, but I believe it's quite a bit sweeter. And it does also say this also does use, they refer to it as traditional oak casks, so I'm guessing that would be bourbon barrels. And doing a little bit of research into the distillery, this is a Highland whiskey. However, I do believe they are actually within Speyside or right on the border of Speyside, and could probably call themselves that if they wanted to, but they have gone for Highlands. The only thing that's slightly concerning is they refer to themselves as the softer side of the Highlands. And, you know, those soft, smooth, those kind of words don't always fill me with joy. But let's get this open and see what we think. Let's have a little listen to the cork. Not too bad. And let's pour a little drop out and see what we think. So I believe it is completely unpeated, whereas the Cuba can that they put out is their peated line. And yeah, let's It's not entirely what I was expecting it to smell like, actually. It smells quite sort of white winey on the nose. Like it's the sweetness, but it's quite fresh still. It's quite, you know, grassy, floral. Floral, fresh, grassy. Yeah, it's all those kind of things. But there is a distinct wininess to that on the nose for me. There's a real kind of grape character. Mixed in, yeah, with those flowers and those grasses. We are 46% on this one and non-chill filtered, and it is satisfyingly leggy in the glass. Although with them saying waxy on the box, let's hope I'm not disappointed. And let's give this a little taste. There's a lovely, delicate sweetness to this. It just kind of, it's almost hinting at the sweetness and then it kind of fades away, so it's not cloying at all. Again, the wine influence on this is marked to me. That's really grapey, really almost like a brandy. It's got that kind of grape lightness. There's a lovely sort of, could be a dried apricot in there. And then there's a real kind of fresh, almost slightly sour, you know, not sweet. And it could be a grape, could be an apple, something like that just kind of slides to the end, but either like a white grape, some sort of slightly unripe white fruit that kind of takes away the sweetness of those apricots. But overall on the palate, that's really quite nice. And then thinking about the finish, it's slightly disappointingly short. To be honest, for 46% for non-chill filtered, it does fade away a little bit fast. And, you know, long and waxy aren't two words I'd necessarily use for it. I mean, there's a bit of oiliness to it on the finish. And there is oranges, I'd certainly say. Perhaps not marmalade, but certainly oranges on the finish. And there's something a little bit spiced there, you know, whether it could be almost a nutmeg or something like that. Yeah, to me that's oranges, that's nutmeg. And there's a really kind of, again, there's that really clean white fruit on the finish that just almost cleanses your palate, but I'm not sure if it's in a brilliant way because it almost takes everything away and doesn't leave you with that lovely kind of warmth of it. So I'm actually going to add a little bit of water to this, which is rare for me for a 46% whiskey, but I'm wondering if I can actually bring a little bit more out of this and liven it up somewhat. Because while it is in its constituent parts, each of the flavours is really pleasant. I think in my head I'd built it up to be a little bit more. I mean, reading the blurb on the back and trying a new distillery, well, new distillery to me is always exciting, and I think maybe I'd let that run away with me a little bit. Less grapey on the nose with a little bit of water added. And a lot more what I would call kind of traditional sort of sherry. Smells sweeter and darker. And wow, okay, a little bit of water. Drinking it just after that water's been added really is livening that up, actually. That has brought out, there's a chocolate on the palate. There's a real kick of spicy ginger. but then it still goes through to that lovely white grape on the finish, which with that little bit extra going on, goes from something that I was initially thinking, maybe it kind of takes it away a bit too fast, to it actually really just kind of finishes everything off really nicely. So yeah, I mean, this is why you guys have to play around with your whiskey, try it in a couple of different ways and see how it is, because surprisingly to me, for a 46% whiskey, it does need that little bit of water just to open everything up. I mean, it's not hazy or anything, I wouldn't say, with that water added. But yeah, no, that's really good. I'll be really interested to see how this one does actually open up as we get down the bottle. I wonder if it'll just die and go a bit flat, or if a bit more of that vibrancy might suddenly pop out once it oxidizes slightly. Again, with travel retail exclusives that aren't bought in the UK, I don't know how long this has even been out for. You know, this could have been on the shelves for months and months and months, and it's sat in the bottle a bit too long, you know. But we'll have to wait and see. But please do join me again for the dregs of this one, because I'll be really interested to see how it is. Because, I mean, this wasn't cheap. It was $89.99 in terms of euros, which today's exchange rate, that's £78.20, which for something that's 16 years old and naturally presented isn't horrendous pricing, but by no means are they giving it away either. But yeah, my views are actually a little bit mixed on this one. If this was 25 quid, I'd be all over it. It's amazing. But over 75, you know, suddenly you're going up against some pretty big hitters at that price point, you know, and is it quite up to their standards? Perhaps not yet, but we'll see when we finish the bottle. But yeah, before I rattle on too much longer, I would just like to say thank you all so much for joining me here today for this review on the Neckpour. I'd love for you to see me again, to see the dregs of this bottle in a couple of months' time, because I think this could be one. This seems like a candidate to me that it's going to change quite heavily. But if you have enjoyed the video, please do drop a like below. If you've got any thoughts on either this bottle, Tomatin as a distillery, or there's anything you want to see me review, please drop that in the comments below. I'll be sure to get back to you on it. And if you've really enjoyed the content and want to see more, or even just want to see when the dregs review of this bottle comes out, please do hit subscribe and the notification bell down below so you're notified next time I post. It really does mean a lot to me. But other than that, I'd just like to say thank you all so much for joining me here today. And until the next time, cheers, Salancha, and I'll see you again.